In the future, women get the chance to conceive and give birth using mobile artificial wombs, which look like eggs. In a near-future scenario, a young woman named Rachel wakes up in her apartment. Her home ad turns on the coffee maker and tells her that her digestive health has improved. It suggests a suitable outfit for the day and reminds her of her appointment at the Capsule Center. Rachel wakes her husband Alvy to say good morning and goodbye before heading to work. The AI helps Alvy choose his outfit and informs him that his happiness level has slightly increased. He eats a prepared breakfast and goes to the home greenhouse. Rachel arrives at work, where there is a presentation of new cognitive assistants called Our Machines, which will soon act as cognitive supervisors. After the meeting, Rachel's supervisor invites her for a chat. The supervisor is concerned about Rachel expanding her family since they plan to offer her a promotion. The company is willing to fund her services at the Uterus Center, which Rachel appreciates. Rachel continues working when she receives a call from the Uterus Center. A spot has opened up and they schedule her visit. She relaxes, dreaming about her future child. Meanwhile, her husband Alvy is teaching a class in the botanical garden, showing students a fig he grew naturally. The students are initially disgusted, but one brave student tries it. Rachel shares the good news with her colleague and friend Alice, but admits she hasn't told her husband about the visit to the center. She consults her robot psychoanalyst, confessing that her husband is distant because he is focused on the natural world and wants their child to be conceived, carried, and born naturally. The AI questions why a naturally born child is different from one gestated in a capsule, and Rachel struggles to find an answer. Later, Rachel and her friend go out for lunch. While enjoying the pleasant aromas, Rachel decides she should talk to her husband about everything. When she gets home, she finds Alvy watching a relaxing program and they discuss their day. Alvy is upset that the younger generation doesn't know how to interact with nature, feeling that people have started to see nature as just a commodity, leading to many problems. The next day, Rachel goes to the Uterus Center. There, she and others discuss how their center took on the task of solving the zero birth rate issue because women found having children inconvenient. The center aims to help women live full lives and pursue their dreams without the distraction of children. The center's director, Linda, welcomes the group and shares the latest technological advancements. She argues that just as humans have always controlled nature, women should control childbirth. Linda gives a tour of the center, showing the capsules where babies grow. Parents can interact with the baby through an app, playing music, audiobooks, or educational podcasts. The capsules protect babies from viruses and toxins and can operate autonomously for 48 hours. Linda reminds Rachel to make a deposit, but Rachel wants to discuss it with her husband first. Back home, Rachel tells Alvy about her plan to have a child with the help of the Uterus Center. Alvy is upset that she made such an important decision without him and visited the center alone. Rachel apologizes and they reconcile. She suggests they visit Alice and her husband to discuss it further. Alice is excited about the idea of having a child without pain, suffering, or body changes. Her husband shows a special belt for carrying the egg capsule, but Alvy is skeptical. He refuses to have the capsule at home, feeling it is too artificial. Rachel assures him that the child will perceive it as a real maternal womb, but Alvy struggles to accept it. Rachel suggests he visit her robot psychotherapist, which initially offends him. He eventually decides to visit the psychotherapist, and after listening to the AI's advice, he realizes they have misunderstood each other. Upon returning home and discussing the evolution that led humanity to grow children in capsules, he agrees to his wife's proposal because he understands its importance to her. The next day, they go to the center, where Rachel announces that Alvy will be the biological father. Linda leads them to a room where they witness the moment of conception on a large screen. Later, they are shown a container with a fertilized zygote. The couple informs Rachel's parents about the upcoming event. Rachel's father suggests Alvy sell his countryside house since they never visit, but Alvy opposes the idea vehemently. While the capsule remains at the center, the future parents continue their usual lives. When the time for birth comes, Rachel is connected to the capsule, selecting music for the baby. She tries to see the baby, but is told it's kept in complete darkness until 7 weeks. One day, a capsule sends a signal that it's time for birth, but despite the programming, the baby doesn't arrive on time. Rachel starts having strange dreams, which she confides to her psychoanalyst, but the AI convinces her that dreams are unreliable for analysis. After 6 weeks of pregnancy, when the baby's heartbeat is detectable, Linda allows them to take the capsule home for the first time. Rachel prepares the baby's room, and Alvy brings an olive tree sapling. However, Rachel suggests replacing it with a hologram, upsetting Alvy. He takes the tree away, promising to plant it at their countryside house, which Rachel suggests selling once again. She just doesn't understand why they should go somewhere else when they have everything they need for a good life here. But Alvy refuses to raise the child surrounded by plastic. The next day, Rachel meets a pregnant woman in the pool who lets her listen to her baby's movements, which fills Rachel with delight. In the evening, they move the capsule to their bedroom because they want to spend as much time as possible with the future child. However, Alvy feels uncomfortable with intimacy while the baby is present, so they move the capsule to the baby's room. When it signals hunger, the parents rush to feed their offspring. Sometime later, they go on a tour to the center to prepare for parenting. Linda shows prospective parents the play areas and answers their questions. The government no longer funds education, but the center teaches programming and logic to the children. In one room, children engage in creative activities, although a computer does most of the work, with children providing feedback. When asked about children's dreams, Linda reassures them that dreams are excluded from the fetal development program because they don't provide useful information. One day, Alvy is in his greenhouse when he hears the capsule signal. He feeds the baby but then decides to communicate with it. Meanwhile, Rachel receives a warning about her declining productivity. Alvy tries on the capsule holder and takes pride in his success, carrying the capsule with him, reading books to the baby, posing riddles showing his plants, and falling asleep beside it. At work, Alvy suggests to visitors that they hug a tree to experience its calming effect on the human mind. His supervisor congratulates him on the upcoming joyful event and proposes replacing live plants in the greenhouse with holographic images due to cost concerns. Alvy becomes furious and rejects the proposal. At home, the family watches a movie about penguins, and Alvy starts crying when he learns about the dedication of the birds. Worried, Rachel suggests returning the capsule to the center, but Alvy reveals he brought it to work. Rachel shares this with her colleagues, concerned about her husband's close interaction with the egg. However, they encourage her to be happy about it, emphasizing that the father is bonding with the future child. Rachel continues to have strange dreams, and her pregnant friend reassures her it's normal for expectant mothers. One day, Rachel dreams of herself with a baby bump and enjoys it. She begins to devote all her attention to the capsule, especially after Alvy's mother sends them an old book about the benefits of parental closeness. This worries Rachel, and the couple goes to a psychoanalyst. Finding a balance is challenging because everything revolves around the child. Rachel is jealous of Alvy because he spends more time with the baby than she does, despite being the mother and feeling entitled to bond with the baby. After listening to their argument, the AI asks for permission to connect to the capsule because it cannot take sides. The next day, Rachel takes the capsule to work but behaves distractedly, giving the baby too much attention. Alice suggests placing the egg in a specially designated area with other future mothers' capsules because Rachel is becoming a distracting mother. Alice keeps her capsule at the center because it's more convenient for her. In the evening, Rachel takes the capsule and hurries to the center for a parenting seminar. Afterward, Linda suggests leaving the baby in the incubation area, and the family reluctantly agrees. The house feels empty, and both Rachel and Alvy miss their capsule. One day, Rachel dreams of a seaside where she walks with the baby in her arms, waking up in tears. She moves Alvy's little tree to the kid's room, surprising her husband. Meanwhile, at work, her boss is not entirely satisfied with her productivity, but Rachel assures her that everything is fine. Later, Linda informs them that the delivery day will be next Wednesday as deliveries now occur on the 39th week to meet high demand. Parents must receive oxytocin, the love hormone, to prepare for the baby's arrival. However, the family shocks the director with a request to take the capsule home before delivery, against the rules. Linda suggests they take special tablets to regulate the baby's sleep, which greatly helps parents. As they leave, they pass by protesting women against the capsules. Suddenly, Alvy returns and, taking advantage of the midwife being occupied with another patient, retrieves his capsule without permission. That night, Rachel dreams she is buying her baby at a store, and they offer her a deal, 2 for the price of 1. Upon waking up, she wakes her husband and asks him to take her to their countryside home so she can give birth in nature. Alvy quickly informs Linda at the center about their plan to have a home birth. However, the director strongly opposes this idea, stating that the capsule is very expensive and they cannot afford to take risks. Thus, the egg must be returned as soon as possible. Despite this, the family heads to their coastal home. Rachel begins to appreciate the surrounding nature and her husband. They spend time walking in the forest and planting an olive tree together. They often sit by the sea with the capsule, until one night it unexpectedly turns off. Panicking, Rachel suggests calling the center, but her husband reminds her that they still have 48 hours and must trust their child. They are awakened by the onset of labor, which requires a code to be entered into the capsule, but they can't figure it out. Alvy then grabs a hammer, breaks open the capsule, and retrieves a beautiful, healthy baby. The happy parents embrace their newborn. Early in the morning, Rachel packs the capsule in a box, takes it to the post office, and sends it back to the center. She then returns home, where her husband and son are sleeping in bed. The filmmakers delicately depicted the absurdity of a potential social evolution, showing that nothing terrible happened. People just became so lazy that they forgot the joys of life. Why go out of town when you can visit a capsule garden and lie down to inhale the scents of the forest? Why go through the stress of pregnancy when there's a capsule for that? If you enjoy the recap, make sure to check out our other ones and subscribe.